surah revealed in person in the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The branch of the tree that was inside their house. So we have that the owner, which was the wealthy man, he said, you don't have the permission to eat from the fruits of my tree. This is my tree. Even if the branches is coming to your house, you should not eat from it. And it would basically disturb the children because of that, simply just taking some fruit. So this man, the poor man, came to Prophet and said, Ya Rasulullah, this is what's happening. Asking for some kind of resolution, solving the problem. And we have that the Prophet came to the wealthy man, to the rich man, and asked him to exchange the tree. Said, give me this tree and I promise you that Allah will grant you a tree in heaven. So this person was a rich person, was a Muslim. He was somebody who believed in Allah and heaven and Prophet, but he did not accept. Imagine that. Of course, that it is something that we will say at our time happened, but if a prophet of God come to you, you would have some decency to don't say no to the prophet of God. But he said, no, I will not exchange a tree, and I want my tree. Then one of the companions heard this. So, Ya Rasulullah, if I possess this tree and I give it to you, would you promise the same thing for me? Would I get that tree in heaven? And Prophet said, yes. So this man went to him and said, okay, how much are you going to sell this tree? Whatever it is, tell me your price. So of course the guy was a stingy man, a greedy person. So he asked for 40 palm dates. So he said, okay, I agree. I will give you 40 in exchange for one. And when he basically owned the tree, he gave it as a gift to the Prophet. And Rasulullah gave it as a gift to the poor man and his children. This entire surah was revealed to talk about criticizing being bakhil, being cheap and stingy. The whole surah revealed to talk about the importance of being generous and understanding that there is more to life than what we own and our asset that we possess. So this is basically the history behind the occasion of revelation of this surah. The thawab for reciting this surah. By the way, Surah Al-Layl, we have in tradition that if you want increase in your rizq and sustenance, is a good surah to be recited. So if you want izdiyad rizq, if you want to our livelihood to get better, we have that reciting this surah, it's recommended for that. And we have a hadith by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we have that Prophet said, the one who recite this surah, recite another salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So the one who recites Surah Al-Layl, and of course, inshallah, believe in it by soul, and also keep it active in his soul and his spirit and the performance, Allah will bless him with so much ni'mat, so much blessings and bounties until he will be satisfied. So if you want more ni'mat from Allah, reciting this surah will increase in the blessing and ni'mat and bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah will make his difficult task easy for him. If you feel that your life is hard or whatever you want to do is difficult, if you want it to be easier, this also we have that reciting this surah will help you to ease the difficulty of that. And one more tradition of thawab and reward of reciting this surah, Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam said, the one who recites Surah Layl, day or night, doesn't matter. In the day of judgment, all the limbs and organs of his body will testify in his favor. Our limbs and our a'za and jawarih will testify in the day of judgment in our favor, and Allah will accept their testification and their witnessing, their eyewitness basically. And of course they will earn inshallah salvation and the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's reward. So it's a surah that is highly recommended to recite. And now inshallah we start the surah itself. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. And this is another qasam, another oath. I swear by the night when it covers. Yaghsha it is a lot of connection between this surah and Surah Shams. Because in Surah Shams we said, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا. Right now he's here, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. It's a different way of the same oath. And it's surah called Layl, the night, because of this ayah, because of the oath start with the night. And also it's a beauty of Quran that time is so important in the language of Quran. That Allah uses the oath of a lot of objects, but when it comes to time, there's different times. For example, every period of the 24 hours, for example, we have وَالصُّبْحِ إِذَا تَنَفَّسَ. Allah uses a qasam to the morning. وَالْفَجْرِ, the dawn, the early morning, right? And then we have وَالنَّهَارِ, regarding the daytime. And then we have وَالْعَصْرِ, the afternoon time. وَاللَّيْلِ. All these, it shows the importance of waqt, time. That how precious the time is. And Allah said, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. But I swear by night when it covers. We have that in tafsir, said covers what? Night covers what? And basically envelope what? The sun. Right? The night is basically covering the sun. Some say it could be earth, that as the night start taking over the earth. Right? And the word yaghsha these are very, very sophisticated details in Arabic language. It's a lot of it I can talk about in hours. To read the English translation is very good. We must understand what Allah is telling us. But Quran was revealed in Arabic. And if you read Quran in any language beside Arabic, there are a lot of details, a lot of eloquence that we will miss. I give you one example. For example, in translation, when it comes to Nabi and Rasool, they translate both of them as messenger. But there's a difference between Nabi and Rasool. One is a messenger that has the book, that has basically a religion that is independent, is a continuation, but is independent religion. And then we have a messenger who does not have a holy book and is continues preaching the message of the previous prophets. In English, you will not get that. You need all these words to get it. Another example, I give you the details in Arabic language, and especially the language of Quran. That's why we need tafsir. To, as you know, non-Arabic speakers to be amazed by the beauties of Quran. If you look at a lot of prophets of God, the way they talk to their people is addressing them with qawm. For example, if you look at Prophet Musa alayhi salam, he said, Ya qawm, right? Or when it comes to Prophet Salih alayhi salam, said, Ya qawm. Prophet Hud said, Ya qawm, O my people. The word qawm is being translated as people, right? And when you look at Isa alayhi salam, he's the one that doesn't say Ya qawm. He said, Ya Bani Israel, O children of Israel. Why not? Going to Arabic language, the reason is because you address somebody's qawm, is also in Farsi, we have similar to that. When it comes to relative, we use qawm wa khish, right? In Arabic language, qawm is when you are related to the people you talk to from the paternal side. Means your father was from the same place. So you say, Ya Qawm means you are my people, that my father also was from you. You have that blood relation from the paternal side. But Isa alayhi salam, does he have a father? So that's the reason he doesn't say Ya Qawm. What he says? Say Ya Bani Israel. So this is just one of the details of Quran, that they're addressing people with different words. In English, we cannot say that. You know? O people, my people. That's it. That's all you have. Now another beauty in this ayah, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. Let's start with this. Yaghsha in Arabic language, it's present tense. Yaghsha, it means something that is happening at this moment and is basically continuation to future. When you talk about Yaghsha, right, it is the present tense. And in Arabic language, when you use present tense, it shows about something that is not complete, that it still is in progress, it's not done yet. And when it comes to night, this is what it means, that even at night, when it covers, is not absolute, it is gradual, it is not complete. Because even at night, when we see the light of the moon, where it come from? Where? Sun. So it shows that the darkness of the night is not, what is it? It's not complete. Still there's light of the sun. That's the reason you say, Yaghshaha. As the night and the darkness of the night start covering, but is not complete. It is covering a lot of earth, but it's still there is the glimpse of sun. But when we talk about Shams, was Shamsi wa duhaha. So it's a وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا. Jalla in Arabic is a past tense. And I swear by the day and the glory and the brightness of the day. But it's the past tense because it's complete. Because when it's the daylight, is there any darkness in the daylight? Is there? When there's sun, there's sun. By night, there is still, as I said, through the moon you can see the presence of the sun. But for the day, that's not the case. These are some of the, as I said, the beauties of this language. So Allah said, I swear by the night, and it covers the sun. وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى. I'm not going to talk about these a lot because we already covered this. And I swear by the day when it brightens, when it shows its glory. The magnificence of the sun is being clear during the daytime. And then goes to another oath. وَمَا خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنْثَى. And I swear by him who created the male and female. Talking about genders here. And then it said, إِنَّ سَعْيَكُمْ لَشَتَّى. Indeed, your efforts, your endeavors are diverse. Shatta in Arabic language, it shows when there is variety. And it says your efforts is not the same. Not everybody work in the same amount. Not everybody's effort is the same type or the same amount. إِنَّ سَعْيَكُمْ لَشَتَّى. Indeed, the efforts of the man and the efforts of the women, they're not equal. The humanity, the amount of their struggles are not the same. So I want to give a lesson about this. And there is a beautiful connection between this, which is male and female, and day and night. Because Allah said, I swear by the day and I swear by night, right? And right after that, it said, I swear by the male and female. There is a very, very delicate connection between these two. Night and day, they have differences, right? They're not the same. They have their own unique features and characteristics. But when you look at them, we need both of them. But both of them works hand in hand. Day and night, we need both. For the balance of the earth, we need both of them to exist. If the sun was, all the 24 hours we had sun, or 24 hours we had night, the earth would not be a livable place. It wouldn't have been possible. So both of them create this balance. Each of them have their own unique feature. When it comes to male and female, it's the same concept. Each of them have their own unique characteristics. There's a lot in common, but they have their own qualities, their own unique characteristics and qualities. That it does not make one better than another. It does not make day better than night and night better than day. It does not make male better than female or female better than male. But each of them have their own unique qualities, unique responsibilities. That in order to have a balance, we need each of them to follow that responsibility, that set of characteristics, to embrace it. To embrace it. Yes, we are in favor of equal pay and equal right and all that. But when it comes to responsibilities, there are different responsibilities in faith. We have different tasks. For women, there is a time that there is no fasting and there is no prayer for them. That's the responsibility they don't have. For women, there is not wajib to perform certain ibadat and worships. It's not because they're less, God forbid. It's not because they're not qualified. It is because it's not their responsibility. For men, there are some responsibility that they have and some that they don't. And we have to understand, inna sa'yakum lashatta. What makes us different is the amount of sa'i and efforts. If I want to, inshallah, have a conclusion and leave the rest for tomorrow. Efforts is what, unfortunately, I think one of the biggest issue of our time is that we try to replace prayer with, replace efforts and struggle with dua, with prayers. We think that, if I make dua, it means there's no need for me to work hard. When in reality, Allah has clearly said, Inna sa'yakum lashatta. Indeed, the amount of your endeavors, the amount of your efforts, struggles is different. So somebody achieving success, it is not really dependent on, how much their prayer is good or not. It's also about the amount of efforts they put into something. And if you go back at the civilization of Islamic civilization at the beginning of Islam, we see that Muslims truly understood this ayah. That they have to put efforts in order to make a change. They understood it well. That's the reason we had great scholars of religion, great scholars of science, and great scholars in every field that you can imagine at that time. Because the idea was you have to study, seeking knowledge is important, acquiring knowledge, and also even if you look at today, that today, everybody heard Aristotle, right? Aristotle, Plato, all these well-known Greek philosophers. Do you know one of the reasons we have the books by them available today is because of Muslim scholars? Right? What happened was because when Greek involved in wars, their well-known libraries were burned into the ground. All their, the books that they had by these well-known scholars were destroyed. But before this happened, Muslim scholars, they started translating these books, including the work of Aristotle, Plato, and other well-known scholars of philosophy, to Arabic, from Greek to Arabic. And when the original were destroyed, the today translation of the work of Aristotle is a translation from Arabic to English. It's not from Greek to English. Because they care that, we have to get knowledge, even if it's from Greece. We have to know, what they know. But unfortunately, at our time, we start, not putting that effort to know the opinions of others. It's haram to read that work. It's haram to do that. It's haram to do this. It's literally limiting people to not knowing and put efforts to know what they do. Imam Ali alayhi salam said, we have a famous tradition by him, that if you want to know somebody is truly alim and knowledgeable or not, see how much they're aware of others' opinions. If you know other people's position, ideas, theories, then you will be able to understand your own position and stand very well. But if you only create a bubble that you only care about what you know, and there's nothing else that somehow challenge your belief, how you can truly say I'm knowledgeable? And this was done by the early scholars of Islam. That's the reason we had a golden age of, you cannot find any civilization like Muslim civilization. You can't. At the beginning, at least. Right now, we live in one of the most violent times that at least Muslims are involved, at least in the name. But at the beginning, if you look at it, if there is a part of history they call body count history. So all it is, historian, they counted the number of victims in every conflict. Do you know that in the biggest conflict in the world, which conflict has the highest number of fatalities and casualties? Atheist, godless wars. They had the highest number. World War II. Communism. The highest number of body counts goes there. And if you put this Islam in this process of if it was a battle, there was Taimur Lang. He's one of the one with the high. He was so-called, quote unquote Muslim. That was a bloodthirsty dictator himself. But because he was Muslim, he said, oh, he has some body count. But he's not even in top 10. And hardly is top 10. Muslim civilization had that quality because they get value to this idea. Inna sa'yakum lashatta. Your effort matters. If you want a masjid, we have to work hard. If you want to keep it clean, we have to do it. Who has to do it? I can, make dua, Ya Allah, don't make us to be one of the wasteful ones. Don't let us do israf. But I have to put the efforts to stop the israf myself. I can say, Ya Allah, guide my son, guide my girl, my daughter. But at the end, you have to put the effort to provide, a proper environment, a good community, a good education. Do your best, set a good example for them. You have to put the effort. And when that man came to the Prophet and said, Ya Rasul, I have a problem with my neighbor, and, he doesn't let my children to eat from the fruits. He didn't say, I'm going to make dua for you, and, hopefully it's going to resolve, so I'm going to come and talk to him. This is the efforts. You have to, put some time, go there, try to help. Dua has its own place. Our efforts without Allah's will not go anywhere. The efforts that we put into something is from Allah. What if, God forbid, tomorrow I'm paralyzed? What can stop me from being paralyzed? If I am, how many doctors you've seen that they said, I'm sorry, we did our best, I cannot do anything else? There's a lot that humanity cannot do. That's the reason we need to connect with Allah, always ask Him for that ability to do what we can do. But once we have that ability, once we have that gift, then I have to use it. If I waste it, I will be responsible. Inshallah, I'll continue the rest of that. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أَعْطَى وَاتَّقَى. Inshallah, we continue tomorrow night. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.